today we're going to be doing a chapter approved mission called 4 Pillars, and we both brought monocodex.
Yeah.
What did you bring?
Blood Angels.
Pure Blood Angels, not the 3-captain gimmicky shit.
No, tempting, but...
Yeah, and I'll be surprised I'll be doing Death Guard. So it'll be 2,000 points of Death Guard versus Blood Angels. Let's take a look at the armies. Alright, and here is 2,000 points of Blood Angels. What do you got here?
Alright, so we're looking at a Hunter, as well as a Sanguinary Priest, and a Leviathan Dreadnought, the Blood Angels one. It's going to be proxying a Grav Gun, as well as its Siege Form. Then we have a squad of Devastators, 2 Heavy Bolters, 1 Flat Cannon, and then just 1 regular Marine with a Bolter.
Nice.
We got the Sergeant with the Chainsword and the pistol as well.
Cool.
Moving on from that, we have the Battalion. We're looking at an Elite slot using the Sanguinary Guard. 2 axes, 1 fist, 1 sword, all with the standard Angelus bolt gun. 1 Rhino. We have 2 lieutenants, 1 with a power fist, 1 with a Thunderhammer, both with jump packs. The Thunderhammer is going to be the hammer of Baal, and the flag that he's carrying that is meant to represent the Veritas Verte relic.
Sweet.
In front of them, we have a captain with a relic sword. He has the Angel's Wing jump pack, and then behind them, we just have 2 squads of 5 attack marines and 1 squad of scouts.
Sweet.
All but 1 in a cloak, all with sniper rifles.
Cool. Awesome.
Moving on from there, we have the Outrider detachment here. It's going to be led by 1 apothecary and a bike. Then we have assault marines, each one of them with a pistol and chainsword, except for the sergeant that has a power lance. Next, we have a squad of bikes. It's going to be 4 bikes, including the attack bike, 2 with the grav gun, and the sergeant with a power maul.
Cool.
Behind them, we have the Storm Raven.
Oh, couldn't miss that.
A little hard to miss that one.
Yeah. That is. What's he rocking, weapon-wise?
Just twin last cannons and the flak missiles, I believe.
Flak missiles,
the
cool.
missile platform.
Nice. Cool.
And then after that, we just have 1 more squad of bikes with chainswords.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
Of course, all of them have the biker guns as well.
Sweet. And that's 2,000 points. Pure Blood Angels that just want to destroy the shit out of some Death Guard. So
burn it to the ground, yeah.
Yeah, burn the plague to the ground. So let's check out what I'm working with today. I've got a battalion and an outrider. So leading off the battalion, first off is a Demon Prince with the sword and Typhus. They're both going to be doing Miasma Pestilence, and he will have Blades of Putrefaction. In the elite slot, I've got the Foul Blight Spawn. Troop choices are 3 units of 10 Poxwalkers, and then just a huge brick of Terminators. They're all WYSIWYG. So we've got 2 Blight Launchers in there, 2 Flails, 3 Swords, and 5 Axes, I believe, and the rest of the guys have Combi Bolters. The Outrider detachment back here is led off by my Warlord, who's going to be a Chaos Lord with the Arch Contaminator and the relic, the Fugaris Helm. And I've read online that it doesn't make the Arch Contaminator get bigger, and then some people say it does, so I don't know. It's hotly debated, and GW hasn't said anything about it, so it's getting 3 inches bigger today. Don't take that out of context. So we're going to have 3 Fetid Bloat drones in the Outrider detachment and a Mephitic Blight Hauler right behind it. And that is 2,000 points of some stinky stuff. Yeah, cool. Let's show the battlefield and talk about the mission. And here is the deployment. We rolled Hammer Anvil, which is a classic. Actually, I kind of set up the 2 deployments, or the actual battlefield kind of that helps out with this deployment. I didn't even realize it, so I'm kind of glad that we rolled it, because now it looks really cool. Like over here, there's just a giant wall of stinky assholes, and then over here, the saviors of the Imperium, the children of the angelic host, are coming in to save the day. So the mission that we're doing is the 4 pillars, and as you can probably see, there's 4 objectives, all kind of close to the center, about 15 inches from the center, going out towards each corner. Basically, this mission is you get a point if you kill more, and you get a point if you hold more. If you hold all 4 objectives at the end of the turn, then you get 3 points, which is pretty cool. And then, you know, first strike, slay the warlord, line breaker, all the standard stuff. So he won, or you lost the roll off, so you deployed first, everything over here, and then I counter deployed over here. So kind of got, I'll just run down the line first. So we got a bunch of stupid poxwalkers. The Blight Hauler right here, kind of just on the line. 1 bloat drone, 2 bloat drone, 3 bloat drone. The Demon Prince just like saying like, "Come at me, bro," to these scouts over there. He just doesn't even care anymore. He's been killed so many times at this point. He doesn't even care. And then the 2 Plagueworks Crawlers are right here. I've got my Warlord buffing them over here. Foul Blight Spawns over here. And in Deep Strike Reserve, I've got old Typhus and the blob of Terminators. So, and for the Blood Angels, what do you got? What are you working with over here?
So we're pretty much looking at a standard fork deployment. We have 3 main zones. Over here on the right, we have a squad of bikers with chainswords, followed by an apothecary, next to a rhino. Then in the middle, we're looking at an assault squad, following closely underneath a storm raven.
Good. Bodyguards.
Yeah, exactly. And then a little to the left of that, we're looking at more bikes, this time with a attack bike with a melt-up.
Sweet.
And 3 bikers, each one with a grab gun, attack squad, and a standard hunter to the far left.
Nice. And over here, the big missile. So I gotta watch out for that. Got some flying stuff that I don't want killed. But yeah, as it stands, you have the choice of whether or not you want to go first.
That is true. That is true.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm gonna let you take turn 1.
You're gonna let me take turn 1? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nurgle usually wants turn 2, so that might be a good strategy. I like to be reactionary, so now I'm at a disadvantage. So yeah, we'll come back to you for movement for the Death Guard, turn 1. And in the Storm Raven, what do we got here?
So we're looking at 2 lieutenants, one of them with the Hammer of All, the other one with the Veritas Verte, along with a squad of Devastators.
Look at that. Oh no, he doesn't have an arm anymore. Oh no, he's better now. He's like, thank you, friend.
Of course, we got a Leviathan taking up the Dreadnought slot, and a couple of regular Devastators.
Sweet. And over here, these guys are all coming in Deep Strike, right?
All the gold ones are, and the red guys are just sitting in a rhino.
Sweet, sounds good. So now we will come back to you with turn 1 for Death Guard. And movement for the Death Guard on turn 1 is complete. So I kind of just moved in advance these bloat drones up to attempt to get into flamer range of these guys, but just short. So they are not going to get double flame today, but maybe next time. Moved in advance these guys up, moved these guys back, because I have played Blood Angels before, and I know that they like to sneak in the back and hit you in the head with a Thunderhammer, and I don't want that to happen. So I kind of brought my back line a little bit back so he couldn't fit any units within 9 over here. These 2 Plagueworks Crawlers stood still. He stood still. My Demon Prince also stood still because he is just exuding big dick energy today or something. And I put Cloud of Flies onto my Warlord so that the scouts couldn't target him unless he was the closest. I think that's about it. So we're going to go into the Psychic phase for the Death Guard turn 1. And in the very short Psychic phase, my Demon Prince decided to do Miasma Pestilence onto himself because he doesn't want to get some sniper rifles in his face. So maybe all that BDE was rightly placed. So yeah, we'll come back to you after the shooting phase for the Death Guard turn 1. And the shooting phase for the Death Guard on turn 1 is wrapped up, and it was extremely underwhelming. So the front sponson guns on these guys just went into the scouts, and only managed to take 1 out. And the mortars went into the Storm Raven, and he muscled 2 5-up saves. Storm Raven is unscathed. So I don't get first strike. I get 0 points for this first turn, and the Death Guard are slow and stinky as usual. So there's no charge phase, so we will come back to you for turn 1 for the Blood Angels. So Blood Angels have moved. What happened?
So in pure Blood Angels fashion, everything that could advanced.
Hell yeah.
With the bikers advancing over here, next to the Sanguinary Priest on a bike.
Sweet.
Rhino advanced straight up into that corner. Assault Marines scooted their way up by the objective. Scouts stayed still because they couldn't move.
Yeah.
Then we had our bikers over here advance as well. Attack Marines just advanced up to the objective marker, and then the hunter just slowly creeped out.
Nice, love it. And oh well, we forgot about one.
Oh yeah, the Storm Raven just took a normal move.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's planning, but something's going on.
I think it's planning to land on my entire army.
It might. We'll see.
It's big enough to crush pretty much everything I have here. But yeah, so that's it. Any psychic phase?
Not at all.
No psychic phase whatsoever. So we will come back to you after shooting phase for the Blood Angels turn 1.
So starting out with the shooting phase, the Hunter Sky Spear missile just shot right into that flyer right there. It was followed by the scouts right there who took all their shots into the flyer as well.
2 mortal wounds down in us. That's
yeah,
pretty
2
cool.
mortal wounds.
So got him down to 4 from 10 with the shooting attacks.
Still not dead though. And then
Still not dead.
To the Storm Raven, just blasted everything into the crawler.
Yeah, just trying to take him out. Only got him down to 7 wounds though. He's got 12 wounds, so he's legendarily resilient. So and I think that's it because everybody else advanced. So they're on the hunt. They're coming for me right now. They want to take all my troops out so I can't score any objectives. So there's only 10 of these guys in each squad. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, so that's that. No morale, no charges. So yeah, I think that's it. So we'll come back to you with turn 2 movement for the Death Guard. And movement for the Death Guard on turn 2 is complete. This guy just scooted up a little bit right here. This guy scooted up over here to get a better view of those guys. All my poxwalkers just stood still. Basically everything over here kind of stood where it is to like maybe ensure that a tiny guy with a jetpack that wants to turn off Overwatch is not going to get in here, but maybe I didn't do it right, so we'll see. These guys stood still because there's a giant Storm Raven in front of him now. My Warlord is just chilling out, but he's got Cloud of Flies on him, so that's kind of cool. The Demon Prince just kind of flew down here right in front of him because he's got Fly and he can charge him next turn, or in the charge phase, I mean. That guy stood still, but most importantly, all the way over here, we've got a line of 10 Blight Lord Terminators, and they suck, and they're big, and they're stinky. So basically just a lot of targets right here that maybe I can get if I can get a charge. We'll see, because 9 inches is still a hard charge to get. And over here, Typhus came in just 9 inches away from these guys and the Hunter. So that is the movement. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. And for the Psychic phase, Typhus failed to get Blades of Putrefaction off, but did get a 1 damage smite onto this unit, so 1 guy has perished. And way across there, the Demon Prince has Miasma of Pestilence on himself, so now he's -1 to hit, just in case a giant Leviathan drops on his head. So that is Psychic phase. We'll come back to you after the Shooting phase for Death Guard on turn 2. Shooting phase for the Death Guard on turn 2 is finally wrapped up. All these Blight Lord Terminators kind of split fire a little bit. 2 of them shot into the scout on the building. The rest of them shot into the assault squad. Took out 2 in the assault squad, and finally took out the scout. The 2 Blight Launchers just unloaded onto this Rhino and got him down to 6 wounds. Typhus just held the scythe in the air like a dumbass. This guy over here did double flamers into these guys and took 1 out. This guy did a split fire into the scouts and took 1 of them out before the Terminators did, and 1 into this, and they took 1 wound. And over here, the Foul Blight Spawn got a 6 on the shots and a 9 on the strength, so took this thing out with relative ease of 3 damage apiece, and then everything spilled out of it. So now I don't know if I'm better or worse now. I've got a giant Leviathan in my back doorstep and 2 Smash Captains, so yeah, that's not good. But we'll see how it goes. And also, this guy went into the Storm Raven, took wounds out of it. So there was some like chipping going on over here, but the Foul Blight Spawn definitely did like 16 damage to it or something all at once.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Cool. So that is that. So now we're going to get into the charge phase for the Death Guard in turn 2. Charge phase for the Death Guard in turn 2 is done. My DM Prince just went over into this captain over here and this Devastator squad. Before we address this, all of these guys, even with a reroll, could not get in to this little gushy target over here that I wanted to get him into. And Typhus also just stood still with a very low charge under the Hunter and that tax squad. However, these Poxwalkers get an 11-inch charge all the way over here to do absolutely nothing. So that is that. Oh yeah, also this guy charged in too. And this guy charged but failed to save. So we'll come back to you after the fight phase. The attack phase for the Death Guard on turn 2, all of his attacks went into these guys and they made very good saves, so I made no damage on them. And over here, the Demon Prince got a bunch of 6s, making more attacks, rolled a bunch of 2s and 1s on the wound roll though, so failed to wound much, but he did get this guy down to 1 wound. And then the Poxwalkers attacked into these guys over here and didn't do anything. The 1 extra attack went into those guys and took 1 of those guys out too. On the counterattack, he just put everything from the lieutenant into this guy and got him down to 6 wounds remaining. And they took out 2 poxwalkers. And that is it. And that is the end of the turn. And I don't... Has anything died? Oh yeah, I got the Storm Raven. Okay, cool. So...
Raven and the Scouts.
Okay, so Raven and the Scouts. So going into your turn 2, you have to kill more than 2 units. Right, and then you get a point. Yeah, let's see what we can do. So movement for the Blood Angels. Okay, movement for the Blood Angels on turn 2. Where are we at?
All right, so we have movement from the bikers over there with the chainswords.
Mm-hmm.
They took
fell back over here.
Advance.
Nice.
The apothecary was stuck doing his Narthkinium. It didn't work out, so he got stuck there.
He's just sitting there.
Next in the Rhino emptied out its cargo. We got 1 additional Sanguinary Priest, as well as a full attack squad of 5 guys, and the assault squad did not move.
They did not move. Cool.
Nope. Bikers fell back. Attack Marines also did not move.
Nice.
Hunter did not move.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
And then over here for the Deep Strike, what else? What else happened?
We have our captain with Relic Blade and 4 Sanguinary Guard deep striking in behind Typhus and the Terminators.
He's going in. He wants them. They want a piece. Yeah. And then over here everything just kind of stood in combat, right?
Yeah. Too much bloodshed already.
Cool. All right. So that's the movement phase, and then coincidentally the psychic phase. So we'll come back to after the shooting phase. So turn 2, shooting for the Blood Angels. What happened?
So the Handicap Leviathan managed to completely destroy the Blight Hall.
Invisible grav fluxes will do that.
Yeah, that's what they will do.
Yeah, and
you
then
don't see them coming.
After he destroyed him, I paid a command point to blow him up automatically, and like pretty much everything over here was in the 7-inch range for the explosion.
Yep.
So everything took D3 mortal wounds. Some poxwalkers that taken out. The Demon Prince ignored the wound, took out some Devastators, did 1 wound to the Leviathan, and then 2 wounds to him.
Yep.
Right, and then killed the lieutenant that was over there. One less lieutenant we all have to worry about, right? Then over here, these guys fell back so they couldn't shoot. He's just standstill. These guys unloaded into the Terminators, but they made all their saves. And then over here, just like weight of shots, Typhus failed to save on a 1-up, so he's down to 1 wound.
Yep.
And the Hunter Missile went into this bloat drone, but I made a 5 invulnerable save. And that is about where we're at for the shooting phase. So now we're going to get to the juicy part for the Blood Angels, which is the charge phase. So we'll come back to you after that. So starting over here, this lieutenant just made like a 0% chance of failing it charge into my Warlord. And then the Leviathan just like got like an 11-inch charge into my Demon Prince when he didn't actually need it. So he is way in now. And then over here, break down what happened for me.
Well, so trying to charge with the captain. He has the relic backpack, so he can't be overwatched. It failed, so I command re-rolled, and 2 turned into a 2.
That's not what you want there.
So I thought to myself, well, let's just make this a sure thing.
Yeah, let's make it a sure thing. We're going to get somebody in there.
Exactly. Paid 2 CP, so I could roll 3d6 for the charge against Typhus with the Sanguinary Guard. And I rolled a 6 total.
Now that is not good.
Yeah.
Luckily, he only moves 4 inches, so maybe you can just run away from him at this point and just be like, run away, and then get a charge on him later. And I think that's all the charges for right now, so we'll get back to you after the fight phase. So on the fight phase here, this went completely unexpectedly for me. Actually used his aura, the 7-inch aura that makes everyone fight as if they didn't charge. I spent 2 command points to interrupt my Demon Prince. He put all of his sword attacks into Leviathan, getting him down to 6 wounds. He put his 1 attack into the Devastator guy and actually took him out. And then on the return attack, he brought my Demon Prince down to 2 wounds. I made 2 successful saves and made 4 ups and got him down to 6 with that for the separating plate. And then over here, the lieutenant with the Thunderhammer failed to smush my guy here. So he did a bunch of attacks. I made all my saves. He spent 2 command points after I unexpectedly killed him, which is not like what was supposed to happen at all, with a chain axe with 4 attacks. So I take the guy out with 2 wounds, and then he spends 2 CP to attack again, and I make all those saves too. So he very strange turn of events there. And that is the fight phase. So we'll come back to you now with turn. Oh, actually, wait. Before we do that, so now we need a score, because I think that the objectives, we still are both just holding 1, 2, and I'm holding 1, 2. However, that means that I've killed a lot of stuff this turn.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you haven't killed as much as I have, because I took out, remind me, the Storm Raven here, Devastator Squad, and these 2 lieutenants. So that's pretty good. But that still only nets me a single point. So that's cool.
You also got to slay the Warlord, the lieutenant.
Lieutenant was your Warlord.
Yep.
So I'm up to 2 points. How about that? So I get to slay the Warlord. So yeah, that brings us to turn 3 for the Death Guard. Let's see if I can do any other confusingly awkward stuff that's not supposed to happen. So most importantly, we're both down to 0 command points at this point. So turn 3 is going to be very interesting. Movement for the Death Guard on turn 3. Everybody over here just kind of moved, consolidated closer to this objective. This guy just got closer to the Leviathan. This guy moving in advance actually isn't in range of anybody, but he's just kind of getting in the fight because he's been sitting back in the corner all day. This guy stood still. This guy moved in advance to get the fuck away from that guy. Over here, this guy just stood here because he's in range of this guy, the Foul Blight spawn. And these guys just stood here on this objective. Which probably wasn't a great idea because he's got flamers, but maybe I can take him out, maybe I can, who knows. Over here, he moved, he fell back over here, away from the Leviathan that wants to chop him up with a drill. He just moved up a little bit. This one moved in advance over here to get in flamer range. All these guys just trudged up 4 inches over here to get within Rhino and charges and objectives and all that. Typhus also very slowly trudged up. He did a smite in the psychic phase onto this unit, took 1 out, and then got Miasma Pestilence onto himself. And the Demon Prince did a smite onto the biker squad and took 1 out with 2 damage. And that is it. So we'll come back to you after the shooting for Death Guard on turn 3. This thing did a bunch of splitting of fire. Did a mortar all the way across to that tech squad near Typhus. The front sponson gun went into this biker over here, and then double flamers went into the Leviathan and actually brought him down to 3 wounds, which is really surprising for just a flamer. The Melta and the Melta and the assault spitter thing went onto him and didn't do anything. This guy's out of range. The missile launcher went into, pretty sure, this unit over here and didn't take anybody out because they made their saves. This guy just unloaded onto the assault squad that was here got melted by 2 flamers and they're gone. And then this guy over here did the classic roll a 3 for the strength and get only 2 shots and failed to do anything to the Leviathan, which is not really good for me because I've got a giant Leviathan in my backfield still. These guys over here just unloaded their blight launchers into this guy. Only took a single wound off of him though, and he threw a blight grenade and didn't do anything. All of these guys actually unloaded all their storm bolters into this tac squad, and they made a bunch of 3-up saves. So only 2 died. So that's pretty good. And over here, I split fire. 1 flamer went here, 1 flamer went there, and I took out 2 in that squad and a wound over here.
Yeah.
So that's about it for the shooting. So we will come back to you with the fight phase, or the charge phase and the fight phase for the Death Guard turn 3. And in the charge phase, all these Terminators got a 5-inch charge and just kind of like started wrapping over here around this stuff. Charged everything so they can still get like a pile in here. Typhus got into these guys, also charged these guys so maybe he could swing around to the objective, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get any distance on an attack on him, so he's probably just going to have to put everything into the attack marines over there. Over here, I just kind of moved this guy over here and charged him because I don't really know. He's got 1 wound left. Maybe I'd take a wound. Who knows? And over here, I got a huge charge all the way into this guy. I made all my saves on the flamers, and he's good to go. So that is the charge phase. We'll come back to you after we're done fighting. So starting over here in the fight phase, this Mephitic Blightholder actually failed to do anything at all to the Leviathan Dreadnought, but Leviathan Dreadnought actually only took 3 wounds off him, and I ignored 1 with Discussion Resilient, so he didn't die, so that's kind of cool. Over here, the Chainsword guy and this guy just kind of had a stalemate. They didn't really damage anybody. The Bladewell Terminators took out this tactical squad and took the Sanguinary Priest down to 1 wound. And actually, I'm pretty sure I failed to damage this Rhino, which is kind of crazy because it was like 4d3 attacks into him with like flails and stuff. So that's kind of weird. And over here, Typhus just completely scythed through these tactical squad dudes. And I think that's where we're at, and then he attacked back and didn't do anything to the Bladewell Terminators because they're big stinky zombie does. So I think that's all the dodes that attacked, and that is, I'm pretty sure, the end of the round for me. So now we're going to go to round 3 for the Blood Angels. So movement for turn 3 for Blood Angels, what happened?
Alright, so we had the Sanguinary Guard with the captain slowly proceed down to the Terminators. The 2 apothecaries tried to get their Nostidium ability off. Didn't work, so they're pretty much
they're
stuck
just
there.
Hanging out now.
Rhino's locked up, and the Biker and the Leviathan are locked up as well, so nobody else moved.
Yeah, they all just stood still, try to fight it out. And these Bikers stood still as well. So, and the Hunter. So we'll come back to you after the Psychic phase. Just kidding, the shooting phase for the Blood Angels for turn 3.
Alright, so not too much happened. Just managed to get rid of that 1 putrid flyer.
Yeah, the blood drone is gone. I did roll a explosion on him though, so it did a mortal wound to Typhus and these guys, taking one of them out. And pretty much everything else was locked in combat that he was in range to shoot though. The missile didn't do anything, so yeah. Now we're going back into the charge phase, so turn 3 charge for the Blood Angels. So for the charge phase, the Sanguinary Guard all came in, got a sufficient charge into the Terminators. The captain also made it in. And over here, the Bikers declared a charge against Typhus, and he used the Destroyer Hive against them, and actually got a single hit and a wound, so it took out the attack bike. So that is where we're at now, so we'll come back to you after we are done resolving all these fights. Alright, so over here in the giant blob of Terminator hell, the Terminators actually made all of their saves. None of them died. So there's 1 Terminator with 1 wound left, and he's still okay. Everybody over here with the flails, and this guy with the axe here swung into the tank, and still only down to 1 wound. Split attacks, like a bunch of guys with the swords here, and here, all went into these guys, and took out 2 of them? No, only 1 of them. So they're pretty tough. And then took the captain down with these 3 guys right here to 1 wound. And the last axe guy went into the Sanguinary Priest and took him out. And Typhus over here cut this bike in half, which he is pretty good at doing because he's got a crazy ass scythe. Over here, nothing actually happened. This is a complete standstill. I made my invulnerable save. I didn't do anything to Leviathan, so he's still just sitting there. And then over here, another complete standstill, just hanging out. So that is it for the fighting and charging. So now we're on to scoring. I'm pretty sure I took out 1,
so
2. Yeah, so that's 3 kills, and that brings me up just a point because I just get kill more. Yeah. And now, I also do hold more, so I get 2 points up. So total score so far is still 4-0. Because my warlord is still alive, and no, you got first strike, right? You killed something on the first turn.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure you did. We'll look through the footage. I'm pretty sure I got first strike. So it should be 4-1. If not, it'll be 4-0. But we're going into turn 4 for the Death Guard. The movement and psychic phase for the Death Guard on turn 4 is done. This guy just kind of stood still. He stood still because he's an absolute coward with 1 wound left. My Demon Prince flew back over here to try to get a better look at this guy. All these guys just stood still because they're just hanging out on an objective at this point. He fell back. He moved in advance 5 and just came over here to get a better view of these 2 things going on here. He stood still because there's really no reason to move away from shooting something. All these guys stood still. We're partying. We're having a big ass Terminator party over here. And Typhus just very slowly trudged over here. I did a smite for 2 mortal wounds on him, got a 6 on the second time that I needed to get it, and got blades off on him, and the Demon Prince did a smite for 5 the first time and took him down to 2. And everything basically stood still. He fell back so I could shoot the Leviathan, and that's about it. So we'll come back to you after the shooting for the Death Guard. The shooting for the Death Guard on turn 4 is wrapped up now. lost my cannon on this because I did my front sponson into the remaining biker that was there and had to do the gun into him and lost it. So, but the 2 flamers got a lot of shots and ended up taking out the Leviathan, and he did not explode, which was very good for me, but not good for Hector at all because he could have killed a lot of stuff over here with the, what's it called, the adamantic explosion. Yeah, that's I think it's like D3 mortal wounds or something on everything. It would have been really useful over there. This guy did 2d6 shots and ended up only getting 2 shots, and he made a save, so nothing happened there. Typhus actually hit with 2 for the Destroyer Hive on him and wounded with both, and then he made 2 6-up saves, so the tank rolled up the windows and the flies were coming in, so that's pretty cool. And over here all these guys are locked up in combat. So that is it for the shooting. We will come back to you with the charging. And the bottom of turn 4, or the bottom of turn 4? Top of turn 4?
Top of turn 4.
Top of turn 4. And not really much is left at this point. The Typhus went over her and just slapped the shit out of the hunter.
Yeah.
Like, pretty badly. It's kind of crazy. Over here, the Sanguinary Guard, still alive, still kicking. All these Terminators couldn't take him out. This Rhino is the MVP. I'd have to say.
Really is, yeah.
This thing is holding on for dear life.
That's who has the real adamantium hole.
Yeah, exactly. That's what plasteel looks like, I guess. And then there's really not much. This is looking like a Death Guard victory. My opponent is choosing to concede now because there's really not a whole lot that 2 Sanguinary Guard and a Rhino are going to do. But I was just telling him I don't really know if I like this mission very much. It's not really like ITC, so you can't really score for just killing or just holding. Like you have to have troop choices on the objectives.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. Like I wish that it was a little different because then he could have planted some stuff on these guys and just like held me and just held more and taken something out every round. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel. So the final score is 5-0 essentially because of the way it scores. But I don't really know how I like that. But yeah, the Blood Angels are gonna have to come back and take this planet back from the Death Guard, who are literally just wandering around. These guys haven't done anything for this entire round. They've just been like, oh, I guess we're just hanging out now. So that is that. This is a really interesting game. I don't know that I'm gonna play this mission ever again, but yeah, it's cool. Thank you for coming over. It's always cool to see a fully painted Blood Angels army. Beautiful army. So, and you'll be back on the channel more often. Emperor's Children, right? Coming in maybe next time. So that'd be cool. So that is that. So we're gonna stop there because it's late and there's really no point going on. So thank you for watching.